Hi, this is the second video of the chess series on ICC 5-minute pool. This is again International Master Bindi Chang, and yes, I use my real name, so you can search my games if you want proof of who I am. And right now, I'm gonna be doing a special live cast of my friend playing on 5-minute actually, because my 5-minute rating is actually not that high right now. It used to be much higher, like 2400, but it's like 2180. It's not very good, and I don't feel like I'm playing him very well. So I'm gonna let him play. So he should be in the pool right now. So he says weighing, no game. Okay, well that's kind of fortunate. Okay. Okay, well there you go. So the game started. I was actually gonna stop the broadcast, but I guess we can just go on. Okay, so this is the King's Indian. So we can tell the King's Indian based on this formation. Black has a bishop on g7, and they're playing really fast because it's actually all theory. My friend's actually a King's Indian expert. He's played this opening many times, and every time I play him, actually, I play Trumpowski, so I avoid all this stuff. But anyway, they're playing like a mainline theory here, and okay, there's all theory. 95, f4, knight f7, so you can take it. Rook takes. Oh, check first, and then rook takes, and then he plays e5, I think. Yes. Okay, so now 97. Okay, so this is all theory. So now this is when you actually start playing chess. Well, fun thing about this game is that my friend has played his line over the board once against International Master Michael Modiar, and he lost because he wasn't exactly with the plan, and eventually what happened was he made a few inaccuracies on the king side over here, and white just played h4, h5, and just destroy them there. So okay, so we have a new development here, rook on a3. This is kind of interesting because he's just guarding on this third file, so maybe white will plan to play g4 and h4 at some period in time, have the rooks swing over. Right now, the material count is actually black's up a pawn, but the reason he's up a pawn is because white has lots of compensation for this this pawn. I mean, look at this bishop. These bishops might not seem like particularly strong, but this bishop on c8 has like nothing to do right now. This bishop on d4, it's nice and all, but the problem is it really doesn't really do much. And one of the big problems for black is that his pieces are very disorganized, like his rook's here, queen's here, rook on a8, bishop on d4, and really there's not much for him to do. And in this position, actually, a mistake my friend played was I think he would play h6 in this position once, and they got to play h5 and just open this up. But I think he learned because we analyzed this game afterwards, and basically we went over this, and apparently just don't touch this pawn. Okay, so queen g4, h5 is coming up, so rook g7, that's a good move. So he plays h5, you just leave it there, I'm pretty sure. Or I think taking, I don't think taking is the best move, but yeah, I think you're supposed to leave it there. So okay, there's not much happening right now, except that my friend's has about a minute ahead of the clock. His opponent's not really. I guess one idea that he can play is h5, which is pretty much the move that I would expect him to play. I mean, besides h5, there's really nothing else I can do. He has to go for the kingside attack, and it has to come pretty fast. Because what's going to happen is that black's going to have bishop to a6, guarding all this like squares and stuff, and potentially, okay, so he brings a rook here. So this is an interesting move actually, rook d1. He brings the rook outside to the d file instead of on the f file. It seems okay, but let's say that it's not quite so effective. I don't really see the plan behind rook d1, because the thing is, there's a knight here and a bishop here. There's no way the rook's can get to d8. So why would he play here? Well, don't really know at this time, but yes, my friend played just king h8, getting the king out of the harm's way. Not quite sure if this is such a good move. I think my friend's counting on knight f6 check at a certain time. So that's why he did the king h8. But if he plays h5, if white plays h5, then I still think h5 is the best move here. And I don't know if king h8 is such a good move. Okay, so knight g5. So as you can tell, I was a really big advocate of h5, but he never played h5. Oh, okay, so this idea, knight g5, knight f3 picks up this bishop. But the thing is though, even if white loses his bishop, usually it's okay because white doesn't have a knight anymore to hop onto f6 or d6, and this knight on d5 is actually very strong. What happened in the previous game when my friend played against Michael Moyer is that this exact maneuver happened: knight 4 to g5 to f3, chop this bishop off, and even then my friend got c5 in, bishop b7, and his position was very solid. The only reason his position failed at the end was because of dark weaknesses, because he played h6, which was just a terrible move. But I'm glad he didn't play h6. He probably learned from his lesson. So okay, so this is an interesting move: knight b4. So the idea is e takes on d4, t takes d4, rook takes d4, knight c2 is a fork. So he actually cannot take there, not yet anyway. I think a move that is possible here is just rook b3, but I think it's very slow because bishop a6 will be coming and bishop c4 and pretty much tap rook. Okay, so he took instead. Okay, so he takes here, rook takes d4. Okay, so knight c2, I think bishop takes c6. Oh, e6. Okay. So if he takes his rook, bishop takes c6, and picks up this rook. So that is kind of unfortunate. Seems like my friend may have blundered here because I don't think he saw this move at all. But okay, so what's a good move here? Bishop e7, bishop e7, rook d3, and okay, so just picks up this rook. Picks this guy up, takes his rook, and what is he playing now? He can, if he takes this guy, knight d4 first, I think. Yeah, knight c4, rook c6, and bishop a6 seems to be playable, and I don't really. Okay, so bishop a6, b3, and rook queen a7. I think that's probably the best move here. Or I can take on e6. I think that if he takes on e6, yes, so he takes on e6. So this gives white a huge advantage because he basically just up a pawn now, and his kingside pawn structure is very, very strong and very fast as well. But black does have some chances here with this counterplays. He does have a bit of counterplay, although not too much, because right now the move that white can go is just rook e8 check, winning this queen. Well, not winning this queen, but pretty much just win the game, because you can't lose a queen for a rook at this stage of the game. Okay, bishop c8, that's a very, very interesting move. So the idea is if he plays rook takes e6 check, takes it, bishop takes g4. Seems like white may have missed this move when he played bishop c6, because there's nothing that he can really do about this. Yeah, he just has to give up the exchange. And this is quite interesting. Now the question is he going to take it or not? Because I don't know if he should take this guy actually. I think the move that might be possible is just rook c7. Like don't take it, because there's no reason why white has to take it right now, and he can basically do anything he wants. So rook c7 is a possible move, though I'm not quite sure if it's that good. Queen takes d5 is also possible. Another move that's possible is knight takes b2, and then bishop takes e6, or knight d2 and rook d7. There's lots of possibilities here, so I'm not quite sure which is the best, but I'll leave it for him to decide. It's just very, very confusing. b5, okay, this is a very, very interesting move actually. One of the biggest problems is queen g5. Yeah, queen g5 was a move that I was looking at actually. This basically just frees a rook. So this was the biggest problem with anything that doesn't involve taking this rook. I think my friend just like missed this move for sure, because now it's very, very tough to play on now. Rook g8, okay, g8, interesting. Trade this, and apparently his bishop is still trapped. Okay, so he takes this guy, bishop takes, and I think knight takes b2 is very strong. Knight d2 is interesting as well, but yeah, this pawn's gonna just zoom out of here really, really fast. Not quite sure what he's thinking right now. Bishop g4 or bishop c4. Well, this rook is gonna go to b8 and bishop here. Probably knight to. This knight doesn't really have anywhere to go, unfortunately. Knight c2. Okay, so knight c2. This bishop has to go to c5. Okay, here comes a time pressure. I would say white is definitely winning this game because it's pawn b6. My friend's just trying to complicate the situation by giving random checks. Remember, when you're in time pressure, you have to give like random checks or just random stuff, random anything actually, because it will usually cause them to lose some time. So okay, so now the next idea is bishop a7, which is actually impossible to stop. But knight b4 is probably possible. Okay, so king here, bishop a7, king c7. Oh, he goes here first, so knight b4. Bishop here, king c7. Takes. And yeah, white's just completely won here actually. c5, c4, takes this guy. He can take it. Bishop 6 b7. Okay, there you go. So now this is a time situation, and if he is fast enough, he should be able to win this. And yeah, this should be lost, but I guess anything can happen. Oh, that was not a good white's choice. He should have ran there, because now he's just getting made. Okay, and that is checkmate. So, fortunately, for the second day in a row, or second video in a row, I have cast it on the side that has lost. So this is not a good omen, and hopefully my friend just made like a face. He's not very pleased about this. Now he's gonna go back in time and try to figure out what happened. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video for this time. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I definitely will post again. And just leave me some comments trying to tell me how to improve my casts. I try to do the best I can. I have actually watched a lot of Husky StarCraft and HG StarCraft, so try to be as good as them, but I don't think it'll come that fast. But yeah, it's definitely a pleasure, and I really hope I can do this again. And hopefully next time, the side that I cast, they'll actually win. So, okay, thank you very much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.